It's time for week 2. As many of y'all know, I am on my way right now to head to my birthday cruise that I am been so excited about. And I wanted to put this video out instead of a live so that, you can get a little bit of a fix of me while I'm gone. We are working on the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Glow and Behold mystery project. It is a table runner, and we are currently in week 2. We are making this block, if I can get my fingers about close to where it's going to be. And it's a star block. It's a very simple block to do. And I have my instructions right here. I have my fabrics right here. And I think it is time for us to get going. So I am going to switch my camera angle. Feel like I'm doing live still, but I'm throwing the block right here so that we can see what I'm working on. And the first step says we are making some flying geese. We are doing it with the background fabric, which is this, and one of the yellows. And they have us make flying geese the traditional method, which is the stitch and flip method. So I am lining the square on top of the rectangle. I'm making sure 3 of the sides of the square are lined up. And we are going to sew from this corner to this corner. You could also do it the other corner. This is just the way that I prefer to do. As long as you're going across the way, corner to corner. You can draw your line. That is the preferred method, where you take your ruler, line it up corner to corner, draw a line. If I'm doing 1 or 2, I'm apt to draw the line. Excuse me. But since I'm doing, multiple of them, that's a lot of lines drawing. So I'm just going to use my diagonal seam tape that I have here on my sewing machine. I will line this corner up with the needle, and I will line this point up with the red line in the diagonal seam tape, and that will give me pretty much a perfect half square triangle. Not half square triangle, flying goose, or at least one side of the flying goose. And I'm going to take my leader and ender and just do the same thing. And what I like to do is I will fold this open. Make sure that this point that I folded open, so this point right here, make sure that it lines up with the existing fabric. If it lines up with the existing fabric, that means it is going to line up when you press it. And I take it exactly like this over to my pressing area, and I just put the iron down on top of it to get my press. And we have it here. Everything still lines up. And I will do one of several things, just depending on the energy and everything that I have. But I can take my ruler, line it up the 1/4 inch on our sew line, and slice the excess off. You could also do it with your scissors. You may not need to even use the ruler. It just depends on how comfortable you are with everything. And if you look at mine, and I'm going to see if I can get it real close, there's a little tiny lip here. It is the most minor of lips. It's because My sewing wasn't 100% straight, but because I used the back pieces to line everything up, it's going to give the illusion of straight. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but this one does matter which corner you start from. You want to start, well, you can start from this corner or this corner, but you can't go this way. That's a different block. And what I usually like to do is I like to start from the corner that already is sewn. And that for me gives me a little bit better of a piece, because if I start on the pointy end, it likes to jam down in my machine sometimes. So I avoid machine jams by doing it this way. I'd rather just, pump up the jam. So that off. Take my leader ender. This is great for some chain piecing, so you can do them all. I'm going to check, and it lines up pretty good. Again, it's flat. Take our cutting surface. I should put some sticky on the back of this so it's not sliding on my cutting area. I don't normally like to use a mat this high because this is a slightly awkward for me cutting angle. But like I said, for one or two cuts, it's not that bad. Normally, if I was going to do this, I have a cutting mat that's a couple inches lower and a lot more ergonomic. And we have a gorgeous flying goose. And through the magic of television, I have more flying geese. I'm starting to lay out the block because I have other flying geese finished. The centerpiece is this gorgeous nutmeg. And we have our corner pieces here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this center row. So I'll take these, put these down. And I'm going to change my foot, because as much as people like to think, I am not as perfect with my piecing on my own. I use a 1/4 inch foot with a guide, and that helps me get my points as good as I can. So I'm going to line this up. And when we're sewing, I'm going to bring this up. You see that there is an X from the threads here at the top of the flying goose. If you sew on this side of the X, so on the seam side of the X, like 1, maybe 2 threads, then you will not lose your point. Everybody judges us by our points. Even though if you watch Whose Line Is It Anyway, you know the points don't matter. So I'm just going to line everything up, and I'm going to run this through. Like I said, I'm going to be cautious as I approach that intersection. Try to stay as close as I can to the point without going over. And I will take my leader ender. And the reason why I use a leader ender, some people try to say that it saves thread. I don't know if it really saves that much thread, but it keeps the tension on the outer stitches consistent with the rest of the stitches, and that's why I like it. So it can save thread. Honestly, even as expensive as our thread is, it is still relatively cheap compared to everything else that we put into a quilt. So I don't necessarily mind if I have threads that are several inches, but in this case, I would rather keep my tension fairly consistent across my project. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sew. I do a lot of hope method to make sure to hope that I hit the lines where I want it to be. But if I can see it, I will do my best to make it through. Ordinarily, if I was on a live, I would be doing a lot of chain piecing and web piecing, but this makes it a little bit easier in a pre-record video. And looking at this side, the point is pretty good. In fact, I would almost say wager perfect. This one, it looks really good too. So I'm going to come over here and press real quick. And I'm going to press inwards because that will be a less bulky seam. The fabric naturally wants to point inwards, so I just said, let's go with it. So this is our middle row. We need to make our top and bottom rows, which is taking a flying goose and putting, which fabric is that? That is fabric, H, it looks like. So our fabric H stuff. And all I'm just going to doing, line up and sew it through. Leader ender. And I'm just going to flip this over and do the same thing. I'm not concerned about anything shifting because this one is a very simple block. And as long as I pay attention, I don't have to worry. And for the top and bottom, we are going to press outwards. And I press outwards because, one, it helps us nest from the middle row, and two, the flying geese units naturally want to go that way. So if we can make the fabric go the way that it wants to go, that helps a lot as well. Sometimes you have to, push it into submission, but, not always. So we have our 3 rows, and I am going to lay the bottom row up, and you can pin if you are one of those crazy pinners. You can use clips, which is what I am going to do, even though I don't normally clip on blocks, but I think we need to do some clips on this one. So I will clip the 2 seams, line everything up, and we are going to sew through. Let me take that out of the way. With smaller blocks, I will just, finger hold everything into place. But this time, I'm like, it's a little bit of extra room. So again, I'm going to line things up. Same thing. We have a little X. So where you're not going to cut the X off. Remove your pin or clip or holder, whatever you have. And sew off. And we have one more to do. And I flipped everything, so I got to make sure it's still pointing the correct directions. I just checked my point. It looks good. So again, line things up. A clip at one intersection. A clip at the second intersection. And we'll run it through the machine. Keep everything lined up. Aim towards the X. And I'll grab my leader, ender. And I'm going to look at my point, and that one looks good too. With your points, if you took too much, I would recommend ripping a little bit around it and readjust your stitching if you can't live with it. If you didn't take enough of a bite, you don't need to rip that out. You can just start your stitching a little bit on the leading side and just aim yourself a little bit better and then pull your stitching back into the seam, and everything will still look like you didn't have any issues. So let's press this. And in this case, I'm pressing inwards, mostly because the center seam is a lot bulkier than the outer seam. When you have gorgeous star blocks, sometimes you can't do perfect seam pressing for nesting within the block, but you can do what you can. You can do what you can to control it the best. And I would rather have this little bit of a bulk that's in these corners than the crazy bulk that would happen if I tried to flip this upside down. So let's switch over to the front view, and voila, here is one of the two blocks. I just got to make a second one identical to this. I will do that off camera because, as you saw, it took next to no time. And week one will be done in the, week two will be done and in the books. And we are well on our way to getting our Glow and Behold table runner complete. I believe next week's video will be about a day late because I arrive back in port on Saturday next week, and the pattern doesn't come out till Monday. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing. So you'll probably get week 3 on Sunday next week, which is, you know, still a little bit better than waiting until afterwards. So I'm still in the dark. Would love to see what this is going to come up to. I'm very excited. And yeah, so I will see you after my trip is done. I'm going to have a lot of fun on it and everything, and then get to come back to this gorgeous fabric. Hope you have a wonderful day and an awesome rest of your week. Toodles!